Oh, I got stuck.
No way.
This is terrible. Welcome everyone to downtown Pittsburgh and a new video adventure as we're checking out the Heinz History Museum located right behind me here. This is a place I had on my radar since my first trip here, but just never got around to getting there and checking it out. But from what I've heard, it's a pretty great history center and museum that educates you about a lot of different things, including the famous Mr. Rogers. But also joining me today are some special guests. Are my friends Richard and Kara. They came all the way from Ohio and are going to be joining me for today's adventure inside the museum and some other stuff too in other videos. But if you want to check out their videos, you'll find them down below in the description. But if you're ready to check it out, come along with us. Alright, so we're now inside, and one of the first things we're checking out is something for the amusement park enthusiasts from Kennywood. Racer train from 1927. If you're as tall as I am, you can ride where you see me. I just made the cutoff. Alright, it's a tight squeeze, but I'm ready. Hold on tight. Bantam Reconnaissance Car, or BRC-40, made by the American Bantam Car Company in 1941. And it's right here.
Oh, it probably reminds me of the MASH Jeep.
Yeah, from MASH, exactly. Looks pretty tough and heavy duty. And a lot of fun to drive, I bet. There's looking up, there's actually a really big place. But so far, there's a lot to see right here on the first floor, including some vehicles and even a streetcar here from the old Pittsburgh Railways. Combination engine made by American LaFrance Company, Fire Engine Company, Elmira, New York, 1919. There's a picture of it right there, and here it is, looking quite pristine. I know my friend RJ would definitely appreciate this. Looks rather similar to the one at Knoebels, but this one is in mint condition. Engine Company number 5. That would be such a thrill to drive, especially if it had all the like it has all the gear and apparatus on it. Looks like it may possibly have wooden spoke wheels and solid rubber tires. May not be the most comfortable ride, but you'll never get a flat tire. No, actually looking at it, it is chain driven. That is pretty neat. I've never seen a chain driven vehicle like that, aside from like go-karts and stuff. For the car lovers, there's a Ford Deluxe sedan with stainless steel body from Brackenridge, Pennsylvania in 1936. There's a picture of them sitting there. And look at it here. Stainless steel. That's just like the DeLorean, but much earlier than the Back to the Future days, but that will never rust. It looks like it's almost like titanium. It's a Ford V8. That is really cool. I wonder if it has anything to do with the weight of the car, if it adds or reduces the weight being made out of stainless steel. But aside from a DeLorean, it's my first ever passenger vehicle made of stainless steel that I've seen in person. Sitting on some rails is 1724, headed to Pittsburgh. Electric streetcar. Oh, no one's driving.
Pittsburgh, Houston, and Washington.
Starting in
Well, it'd be the
1889,
first time I wanted to.
Yeah.
traveled to places as far away as
There's
Butler
a
and Uniontown,
blast from the past from the old streetcar
Charleroi,
days.
Houston, Cannonsburg.
You can see the
Washington.
advertisements and pictures.
Interurbans carried people
Operational
and
days,
transported
1966.
freight, including newspapers,
Dormant.
gasoline, and freight.
1859, being pulled by horses. Now, I have ridden on these before in Baltimore at the Baltimore Streetcar Museum. So it's not my first time being on one of these, and I actually did operate them too, which was a really incredible experience. But first time being in one here in Pittsburgh, though. All right, all aboard, let's go. here is Pittsburgh. Let's see what's up here. Oh, okay, it's a little play area. But I did come up here for a specific reason, for the Pittsburgh Tunnel. Let's see where it goes.
I'll go back now.
Oh, I got stuck.
No way.
I'm stuck again.
What are you doing in there?
This is terrible. That was excruciating. Yeah. Let's not do that again. This is terrible. That was excruciating. Yeah. Let's not do that again. I got stuck twice.
I think you got the same problem I did getting out of there. You hit your head.
Yeah, I hit my head. American Democracy, A Great Leap of Faith, the McGuinn Family Gallery. Let's take a walk through there and check it out. Up here on the second floor, which has a few other things to check out, and apparently we're supposed to follow the lighted arrows and see where they take us. But there's a pretty neat neon sign here: Pittsburgh, a tradition of innovation. Now we're just above the main floor where we were before, with the fire truck down there and everything. And there's actually 7 floors here, so we got a lot to check out. Starting within here, I'm gonna have to try to be careful with the music itself so I don't get hit with copyright. This looks like a type of sports memorial here. The great athletes. Franco Harris makes the Immaculate Reception. Tika Hemingway became the boxing in a usual way, bumping into trainer Reverend Sheldon Stoudemire on the street one night. No prior experience. And she became a champion. Apparently we stumbled upon a locker room here. Some of the famous athletes from all the different sports: baseball, basketball, football, hockey, so on. So if you guys are big fans of Pittsburgh sports, I think you'd want to check this out. And apparently the men use good old Barbasol. Follow the red footsteps. Brings us to a big room here. A lot of posters and advertisements for different sporting events. I know it's hard to see. It says American Star Bicycle 1885, different from most high wheelers by having a small wheel in the front, large wheel in the rear. Just came out of that little room there, and they actually played a nice little presentation of like a blast from the past of the sports history, showing the different monumental moments that happened in different sporting events. So we just saw a brief glimpse of it, but if you stand there, you can watch the entire presentation, and you learn a lot about the famous sports heroes of Pittsburgh. There's a different type of sports here, everything from marbles to fox hunting and archery. And this arrow is the longest one I've ever seen. It goes from here all the way to over here. You gotta have some good accuracy to fire that. Found a Mr. Yuck frisbee. You guys remember the Mr. Yuck stickers? They were pretty common back in the 80s and 90s. There's a picture here of one of the rivers, and it looks like a riverboat is actually sinking. There's a crowd of people watching there, and even the Jenny 2 from Forrest Gump was standing by. Charles Young, outboard champion. His boat's right here. P3. Look at that outboard engine. Nothing like you'd see today on the waters. Gotta have nerves of steel to race a boat like that. Looks like they actually have a real race car here too. Target. I think that's maybe a sprint car. I don't know too much about auto racing. That is pretty cool though. Looks like it's won a bunch of trophies as well. These cars always resemble almost like a fighter jet with the cowl and everything, and the little cockpit there. Jennerstown Speedway, showing the racetrack there from an aerial perspective, and some stock car racing, which I used to see at Makatech back in the 80s, and Jill's grandfather used to actually race cars like these at the same track and others. He won numerous trophies. '70 Satellites softball team taking their team photo. Here's a look at the umpire's equipment with the mask and the chest plate. It's pretty primitive equipment compared to today though. I wouldn't want to be wearing that behind a pitcher throwing at the mound 100 miles an hour. So reading about how this was made, it says it's from 1940, early years of industrial baseball, umpiring equipment was uncommon and expensive to purchase, so John Paul made the chest protector by repeatedly dunking a piece of cut fiberboard, a material used as insulation in coal mine control boxes, in hot water and molding it around his chest. The result was a sturdy and comfortable piece of equipment that afforded safety and ease of movement behind home plate. So this is made specifically for the umpire who wore it, custom made. Coming into the baseball section now. It's a pretty neat room with loads to see and certain things you can focus on to get more information. They even have everything from seating to a batter hitting a pitch. It's a pretty neat room. The Flying Dutchman. Oh, you can actually... Honest Wagner, 1874-1955. Legend has it that the Flying Dutchman, a sea captain, sails the seas in eternity as punishment for not turning away from danger. Wagner earned his nickname by stealing 722 bases during his career. Swing of the pitch. It's a home run. Loads of information here. If you are a Pirates fan, I think you would love this. There's so much to see and read on, educate yourself on, learn about the history from the baseballs to bats to the players. Pittsburgh Crawford's baseball club. And look at the bus they rode on. Looks like it's from 1936. They traveled in that bus. Yes, as you can tell, I'm having fun like a big kid. As you can tell, we are in the golf room here. They have a little miniature golf area and a lot of information about famous players and even some information about the balls and the clubs that are used for the sport. And a lot of information covering Oakmont Country Club. There's a picture from 1962. And apparently, unlike Caddyshack, they don't have a gopher. They have a squirrel as their mascot. Now we just came from that area, which is the sports museum area, and we followed the lighted arrows and it brought us into another section here, which we are now crossing the Monongahela River. There's some crops growing here. And it looks like an old-time cabin. And history about how the land was formed and who inhabited it so long ago. Ruins of Fort Pitt. Yeah, there is Point State Park right there, formerly Fort Pitt. There's different artifacts in here, tools, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati packet line, big steamship, and over here we got a glimpse inside the cabin with the woman tending to the kettle there near the fireplace. Little desk, a book there. Looks like this is for stitching maybe, or for needlework. Quite primitive, but still, this was what you considered home back in the day. Alright, get a look at the whole steamboat era. So they have arrows here. That's the 18th century. 19th is off in that direction. Oh, that actually looks really cool. And then 20th century is over here, the more modern day look with a really old type of bicycle, battery powered bicycle. Owner of this rally folder bicycle connected a small battery and electric motor to the front wheel, allowing the rider to cruise, and battery chargers mounted on the rear fender. When the battery failed, the rider could just pedal to return home. Quite ingenious. Let's take a brief look at the 19th century.
Well, we came from the 18th century, now we're going to the 19th century.
There's the Crawford Grill.
That's in there.
Nice doggy, sweet little pooch. I think we could go this way. Yep. Oh, it's like a brick road here. And they're moving as you walk on them. Wow, this is really cool. The World's Columbian Exposition, Chicago, 1893. With a really impressive looking type of Ferris wheel that has almost like little kind of carriages or houses on each of the beams there. Not like your traditional Ferris wheel you'd ride today. Now, if you ever wondered how they stop trains, here's a good look at it here. Westinghouse air brake. Grab the lever and apply the brakes, which would be the air pressure. This museum by far is so much larger on the inside than it appears from the outside. We're still only on the second floor. I'm not gonna be able to show you everything here. It would take like a 10-hour video. But this is a must-see location if you come to downtown Pittsburgh. I'm only showing you maybe 25% of what's here. We're still only on the second floor, and I'm gonna have a hard time condensing this video down because there's so much coolness, interesting facts and history and things to kind of learn about and get your hands on and have fun with. Westinghouse electric replica of an early electric chair made around 1975. That looks pretty ominous. Okay, I don't know which way to go. We got the Crawford Grill. The door is open. There is more down here, more over there. I'm kind of getting overwhelmed. I don't know which way to go. Let's go down here. Stop and get a ticket. Thankfully I do have mine, so I'm okay. Interstate 76, Pennsylvania Turnpike. 50 cents. I remember when it was 35 cents on the Northeast Extension. Now it's outrageous how much they charge. I have a little mock setup here of a little living room here. WQED and early television. Press a button to view clips from the 1950s television shows. Let's check Children's Corner. And it's not working. Watching some sports on the old television there. The Last Supper on the wall. The drapes. A couple board games, roller skates. Telephone. Kind of stuff we've found in random abandoned adventures I've been on in the past. And now you can see it how it would look when it's all in good condition. Four-wheel drive. Family's going for a nice little road trip here. Got the front end of it. I'm not even sure what kind of vehicle that is. Oh, it's a Willys Jeep. At least the front half of it. And they're going down the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Right next to the living room is actually the kitchen, where dinner, lunch, and breakfast would be made with love. And this is back in the days too when the wife was a homemaker and took care of the house and the meals, and the husband worked a regular 9-to-5 job. A wooden high chair there. My grandmother's kitchen was very similar to this. I used to get babysat by her as a little kid. It looked very, very similar. It's actually bringing back a lot of memories between the old equipment and the wallpaper. Pretty neat though. There's an area here for conquering polio, showing some of the things that people would have to wear. Here's an adult leg brace from 1960. All these leather straps. Looks very uncomfortable. And even some talks about the medicine and practices used on children. And then spin around and talks about creating the modern city, a new foundation, 1945 to 1970. Here's look 2. Here is Fort Pitt, which is Point State Park. These two bridges are no longer there, but the abutment's still over here. But yeah, that is a great view back in the day, 1969. Now I may be miscorrected because I did do some research that said that this bridge was torn down in 1959, but I believe it was inaccurate. It was here at least until 1969, so I'm guessing 69 or after these bridges were demolished. So I got the correct information from someone else, and this does confirm it. And my hotel is somewhere up in here, the Drury Plaza. Here's actually an earlier look too, 1947. You can see it's before the fountain was ever there. It's all trees and natural landscape and some buildings and other things. So it really transformed from 47 to 69 to now modern day in 2021. It's come a long way. Stumbled into a medical room now with all types of equipment and different devices used for treating illnesses and information about doctors. Freedom House Ambulance Service. Is that X-ray or? Oh, that's a defibrillator. Jeez, that's crazy. Just the thing that was used to resuscitate someone. And there's so many different rooms here, I'm actually getting kind of lost. All right, we'll focus on that last. We have more back there to see. I guess we should, yeah, I guess we'll, I don't know, I'll figure it out. We'll be back in a second. There's the iconic, "We can do it." Another military Jeep in here. It looks like a manufacturing shop as the backdrop. Mary Lou Williams sitting here, playing the piano, and a little video playing about her. 1910 to 1981. Died the year I was born. Oh, there's a funeral here. Someone relayed to rest. Celebrating life eternal. The darkest month, stark and cold with the light snow and the frozen ground. That was December 1907. Most deadly month in mining history. An explosion at the Naomi mine in Fayette City killed 34 miners. Western Pennsylvania, where we are, is definitely home to a lot of anthracite. I think more so here than even in the eastern part near Scranton. Got an area here about mine safety equipment, the helmets, safety lamps, oxygen tanks. Those were mounted typically to the helmet before they had the light bulb. It was just a oil and wick to provide your working light. And let's see, mine safety. So yeah, here's the apparatuses for their oxygen. Mine rescue team wearing Draeger breathing apparatuses, 1910. Even today, with modern technology, mining is still dangerous, but it is profitable. They have a simulation game here to land a, what do you want to call this? Oh, that wasn't going good. Let's see. Come on, you can do it. There we go. A satellite, I guess, to land on a different planet. Let's see if I could make it onto another landing spot here. Oh, I crashed. That is not good. Houston, we have a problem. Playing some old commercials there on the old style televisions. I'm sure many of you can remember watching those. Same commercials or even watching commercials on those very similar TVs. They were common in nearly every household. 57 varieties. One really neat thing is on every floor, when you come to this corner of the building, they have chairs here with some floor to ceiling windows. So you can sit out here, take a little break, and watch the hustle and bustle of the downtown area. And I believe right there, that is the Penguin Stadium. But this is located on every floor, so the higher you go up, the better the views get. Alright guys, this is the reason we came here, is because of one man that myself and many other people grew up with. I present to you Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Boy, this is like so surreal, seeing these same things on television with the puppets and the backdrops. And there he is, Mr. Fred Rogers, with Trolley, and I don't remember their names, but if I heard them, they would definitely come back to me. But all those puppets that he would put on the shows for in the castle. Wow, this is something else. Here's the castle itself. How many of you have grown up watching Mr. Rogers or enjoyed his show or have fond memories of it? I know I do. If I had a day off of school, I was either watching Price is Right or Mr. Rogers. Or even playing his music. Such an icon and such a memorable character. And people have always said, even outside of the show, he was the same person he was that you see on the show. Prince Tuesday, King Friday, there's some of the names. Harriet Elizabeth, yes, you're coming back to me now. There's the set right there. His famous shoes, changed his vest, always had a smile on his face and kind, encouraging words. Owl Correspondence School, established 1958. Everything up there from the Lady Elaine, yes, I remember her. Telephone, binoculars, Harriet E. Cow, tricycle. This is worth the admission right here, just to come see this kind of presentation honoring Mr. Rogers. I'm gonna snap a few photos for you guys, then we'll continue on. There is definitely more to see here. But this was our main focus and feature, so I'm glad we got to see it and to share it with you guys. We even have the clothing of Fred Rogers. People use clothing to express themselves and to make a statement or take a stand. Someone who became closely associated with the piece of apparel, the cardigan sweater. Fred Rogers understood the symbolic nature of clothing. And there is his iconic cardigan sweater right there. And then we come over here to 952 Gaines Funeral Home, Hearst, Cadillac, 1941. Wow, this is actually a hearse. Holy crap. I've never seen one like this. There's always been the traditional wagon type that you see now. This is a Cadillac. Holy crap. That's got to be worth a pretty penny. It's another rendition of a funeral here where they have a viewing. And directly across from there, some more history here. Lee's Floral Shops, offices. 950 African American collection. Fire chief for the hair salon there. Musical instruments, and then we come over here. Beautiful stained glass. Wow, that is something else. Vanadium window. Vanadium window by Rudy Brothers Studio, 1912. That looks stunning. The colors and the artwork on it. And again, just briefly going through here, there is entirely too much to see in one trip, which brings me to my next thing I want to mention is that your admission here gives you 2-day access. So paid $18 for adult admission, gives us access all day today and tomorrow, and also gives us admission to the Fort Pitt Museum down there at Point State Park. So if you don't see it all in one day and you're here in town, you can come back for a second day, pick up where you left off. It is by far the most immersive, detailed history museum I've seen in a long time. Far too much to show in just one video, so I highly recommend you coming here for yourself. Make a trip to come here. There is history about everything, but more importantly, the famous Mr. Rogers. I almost missed this until I saw Richard checking it out. An old kind of arcade game, test your strength, called a liftograph. It's called Monkey Lift. Now, it resembles the kind where you swing the big sledgehammer, test your strength to try to ring the bell. This one involves testing your back strength. It says, deposit coin in slot, grip handle with both hands, and lift. Monkey will climb tree, indicating the strength of your back muscles. I've never seen anything like that before. That is pretty cool. And then goes some Coconut Crusher, Monkey Chaser, Hero, Gorilla Getter, and Superman. I think I would do fairly well. I'd be at least a Gorilla Getter. We are entering a secure area. Visible storage. They got a lot more stuff in here to check out, so we're just going to focus on a couple of highlights here, which are kind of right here in front of us here. Starting off with this really tiny vehicle. Looks like it's a convertible transportation system center. But over here though, there's a bumper car. Is that a Luss? Yeah, Luss scooters. Same ones at Knoebels. This looks like a real working steam engine that would ride on narrow gauge track. Huffy, almost looks like the Pee Wee Herman bike. And a replica steamboat down here. I'm pretty sure it's a working steam engine that would pull cars, similar to a smaller gauge at Knoebels. But yeah, we're going to get over and check out that in more detail. So South Hills Railroad. Then we have a blue Luss sports scooter. Hasn't changed a whole lot. Like I said, Knoebels and Elysburg has Luss scooters, which are some of the best bumper cars around ever. They hit really hard, go really fast, and they're heavy duty.
And fun.
And fun, yeah. Here's a mock replica of a funicular incline. And on the back shelf there, they have a nice collection of tin toys. Everything from a crane to train cars, street cars, boats, trucks. A little bit of everything. Hiding over here in the corner is a gorgeous teal color Harley Davidson. Now, I'm not a big fan of Harleys personally, but that is a nice looking bike. Heritage Softail. Now obviously if I won that in a contest or someone was willing to donate one, I would gladly accept it, but I owned a Harley once. I wasn't a big fan of it, but that is a gorgeous looking bike. A little dusty, but still cleaned up. That would be a pristine looking machine. Just found this shelf here that has some old toys here, tin toys, everything from Panama pile driver to air defense, and it looks like a little clown playing a xylophone, a car that goes down a gravity track, rabbit chase, and some other very neat looking items. Down here, got a type of a hockey game, astronauts. It was like a pinball game, marbles. What's that? Dominoes. If any of you have ever owned any of these, feel free to comment down below. Let me know how you liked it. So if you couldn't tell, this is stuff that's on storage right now. It's not on display with the main museum history part. This is stuff that was either previously on display or will be on display in the future, but it's kind of a holding storage area, and they give the public an inside look because they said most museums do have rooms like this where stuff is stored. You only see a certain percentage of what is actually visible to the public. But this is really neat. They give you a backside, kind of behind the scenes look at some of the stuff that may be put out in the future or was out there previously in the past. Well guys, 2.5 hours later, we finally emerged from the Heinz History Center and Museum. After all that time, we didn't get to see everything that's inside. We didn't get to the 3rd floor or the 5th or 6th floor just because we wanted to focus on the things that we showed, primarily the Mr. Rogers neighborhood area. This place blew my mind. I had no idea so much was in here. Not only is there history tied to Pittsburgh, but just general history as a whole. I mean, there's everything under the sun in here, from how glass was made to slavery to voting, and obviously my favorite part was the Mr. Rogers neighborhood and the behind the scenes area. We got to see the storage room where they have pieces sitting back there that are not currently in the main history museum part. So I definitely want to return in the future and do a follow-up because I did not get to see everything. I showed you guys maybe a small portion, a small fraction as to what is truly inside. There is much more that I didn't show just because it would be a 10-hour video, and I want you guys to come check it out for yourself. It's right here downtown Pittsburgh, 5 minutes away from the Amtrak and Greyhound station, and about a 10-minute walk from my hotel. It was well worth a visit. 18 bucks admission gave us admission today and tomorrow if we choose to, and the Fort Pitt Museum over at Point State Park. Don't forget to check out though Kara and Richard's videos. What do you guys think?
I thought that place was pretty fantastic. if you're a sports fan, there's a lot of sports history in there. There's a lot of great statistics in there. It's just amazing. There's just so much to see. If you go back and through the same aisle that you just walked down, you'll see something you didn't see before. There's just so much stuff. It's awesome.
It's definitely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Too much to see in one day. Yeah, definitely have to come back for the second day.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with them. I mean, whether you're a sports fan, a history nut, if you're into military, whatever it is, they have it here for you. And the price, you get more than your money's worth without a doubt. I could have spent 5 hours here and still not seen everything. So with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a great time checking it out. Glad we finally made it here, and I'm glad they joined me as well. We do have more adventures for today, so be on the lookout for them in future videos. But with that said, thanks so much for watching, and like always, we'll see you in the next video. Okay, now we got this thing. That's a tight squeeze. It's worse than the sliding. This is terrifying. Stop the boat! Stop the boat! Oh. I'm over the weight capacity. Whoops. Okay, now we got this thing.
Stop this ride, I want to get off.
Okay, I didn't see that sign until afterwards, so thankfully I didn't break it.